else, but for now I'll stick with what we got. I'll change it up next season. Good evening, everybody. If you are just tuning into tonight's stream, or if you're watching, well, not just tuning in, no. What's going on? I'm saying the wrong things. If you're watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying, as we're just getting everything else sorted for the lobby. Timestamps will be in the description below for race and qualifying, as if I remember to do them. They've always been there. I've just never actually told anybody, but we'll see you in a moment.
Just one more. Who is missing?
What's happened here?
That'll be Mr. J-Man, I guess.
Hello, Lifebound.
Let me start my stream and then we can get going, I think.
Yeah, it has cut off the last couple of letters. That's annoying. It's weird that it's... Oh, no, not even YouTube wants to let me do that. That's fine. I'll tell you what, if I just put Jeddah instead of Saudi Arabia...
Just put human rights.
Yeah, human rights GP. There we go. Right, save. Close that. All 79 subscribers. We've got 2 since the last time. That's decent. Just 21 away. Live streams channel is here. Right, there we go. There's mine. But it's just Discord going off. Yeah. My phone was vibrating like crazy. Yeah, only 13 tonight. It is a shame. We do like to see a slightly bigger grid here for Tier 2, but nevertheless, I'm sure we'll have just as good a race. Yeah, less chaos. Yeah, that would be nice. Hello to everybody watching. If you've not done so already, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so as well. Only one person has liked so far. There are 5 of you watching. You know who you are.
Honestly, unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. They think I can't see this stuff. I mean, I can't see the dislikes, so I mean, they could all be disliking the video, and I wouldn't know. Or can I see the dislikes? I don't even know. I could dislike my own video.
Let me just get my stream posted and we can get going.
Well, 2 people opted to like, 1 person didn't like, and then one of them left. So, and now that other person who didn't opt to like left. So, nah, I'm kidding.
Alright, shall we get going?
Yeah, I think I might need to get a new headset. I think mine's on its last legs. Every time I move, the audio levels change. Which sucks. I do like this headset, but it's not been my favourite. Anyway, yeah, let's get this going. It is about race time. I've got my water. I've got my things. I'm gonna have to shut the door. Hi, good evening everybody and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Sumo, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 4-time sprint champion, Ghost. How you doing, pal?
Hello mate, I'm looking forward to what is going to be certainly an interesting race at Jeddah. Hoping for not complete chaos, but also hoping for some action. And qualifying is certainly going to be sort of sorting the very best drivers in Tier 2 from the rest, because this track is no joke, especially through Sector 1 and the high-speed corners later on in the track. It's so difficult to get right.
Yeah. Evening, Hartman. Good luck out there this evening. So we're taking a trip to the Middle East to a circuit that sits along the coast of the Red Sea. The Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia is one of the newest additions to the Formula One calendar that debuted last year and has seen some great racing already. This 6.174 kilometre circuit is the fastest street circuit on the calendar and holds the second fastest average speed, with the fastest belonging to Monza. Overtaking is possible, but it will challenge our drivers this evening. Hopefully the safety car doesn't venture out too much so it can save on extortionate petrol prices. Any thoughts, Ghost?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a track you need to absolutely nail every single lap, otherwise you're going to lose a huge amount of time, especially through Sector 1. I know perfectly well I have bottled 2 separate APPF1 races around this track on lap 23 of 25. Yeah, I know what it's like to get it wrong, and it's very, very easy. Also, just want to give a couple of shout-outs, if that's okay, Sumo.
Yeah, go for it.
First of all, shout-out to Hartman, who is in the Williams. It's his birthday today. So hope he has a really good race to mark the occasion. And secondly, we forgot to mention it last week, Crozer is now a married man. So congratulations to him, and I hope he has a good race, and it'll be his first Tier 2 race as a married man. So yeah, congratulations to him, and yeah, we'll be wishing him and, of course, Hartman the best.
Well, I believe it's his second, but yes, a big happy birthday to Hartman and a big congratulations to Krauser and the aforementioned Mrs. or Mr. Krauser, which I'm assuming it's the former. But anyways, where's my comm script gone? This isn't scripted, what? LV is fresh off a win last time out in Austria, when saw Pommy Alex and Jamie F1 join him on the podium after a thrilling battle. LB leads Hartman over 7 points coming into our 4th round of the championship, with Muhiti holding the same gap to the American. His first time in the top 3 on the Drivers' Championship in Tier 2. Red Bull holds a 13-point lead over the Williams team, who knocked AlphaTauri into 3rd after JBS Steve's retirement last time out. There's still 5 rounds to go, this one included, and plenty of points to play for, so it's all there on the table for our drivers, Ghost. And is there any insights from you?
Absolutely. This is the track that's sort of, if any track is going to dramatically shake up the standings, it will be this one. Perhaps Baku as well later on in the season, but this one is going to be a true test of the championship leaders. LB has got a comfortable gap at the moment, but he can't get too comfortable on a track like this, and he is self-proclaimed not the best at this one. We'll see if that's actually rings true, but yeah, I'm expecting big things from a few drivers today.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, tonight's action is once again brought to you by Positive Perception Media Design Products. If you love seeing cool delivery designs, head over to their socials and catch a glimpse of some truly awesome designs. They've got real-life designs, they've got esports designs, and they even do some races as well in GT3 cars and stuff like that. They're big motorsport fans, and we love having them here over on Tier 2. So thank you to them, and make sure you go give them all the love and support that you guys show us. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. I think this is a Red Bull slowing down for his teammate. But yes, let's get into qualifying. Pommy Alex is already on a lap. He's coming down to the sector line for Sector 3 just now. You've got to be very committed on this circuit to try and get out of the lap time. There's a lot of places you can really ride the curbs, and there's a lot of corners that you can carry lots of speed.
Absolutely. A few drivers were complaining about this track in the days leading up to this race in Tier 2. But they should think themselves lucky, because this track is the replacement for the because Tier 1 last week was around Monaco. And this track is the replacement because we didn't want to give them Tier 2 Monaco. So they should think themselves lucky.
There's Pommy with the representative. 31.0. I think Muhiti he has invalidated his lap. That is Indeed, the case. Let's see who else. Is that SW out in the Alfa Romeo? Yes, he's now just one Alfa Romeo on the grid as Muhitti's actually moved teams, you may have noticed. But a 129.2 from the Alfa.
And SW is going to be moving to Tier 1 after this race. This is last race in Tier 2. Yeah, he's very, very fast. He's proved it before, but sometimes he can be a little bit inconsistent. So I'm hoping for his sake that last race in Tier 2 he can end it off with a well-deserved win. And he does have provisional pole for now, with JBS Steve 4/10 down.
I believe we've got ourselves a couple of newbies this evening. I think Lalo Mad is new to Tier 2, maybe,
yes,
and Nonzi as well. Fresh to Tier 2, actually. Joined literally hours, well, minutes before the race started, and puts himself up into 4th place on debut. Here comes Tier. He's not looking forward to this evening, and he dives into the pit lane for good measure.
Jamie F1 is one to watch today. Sumo LB was singing his praises in the practice race that they organised themselves yesterday. He was very, very quick in the AlphaTauri, so we'll have to see if that materialises today as he comes down to the last corner.
Yeah, he was looking very quick last time out in Austria as well. AlphaTauri had a bit of a slip last time out as JBS Steve didn't finish the race, but he has put himself into P2. Let's see what his teammate can do. He shoves his teammate down by a 10th. That's a great lap.
Much, much better than particularly LB's, who's all the way down in 6th for now. I don't know if he's going again. No, he's definitely not. He backed off. So, yeah, LB quite far down, actually, behind Mr. J-Man and Nonzi and everyone else. So, yeah, he's definitely going to be hoping to improve. The championship leader. We've got Femi Thrustmaster coming through Sector 1, and Hartman is coming to the end of Sector 2, so right on board with him. He's P3 and P2 in the championship.
That's my favourite corner just there. That one, that's you sling yourself all the way left. You can get as close to the wall as you dare, but it just feels so good going through that corner when you get it right, and then you slingshot yourself onto this curved DRS zone, which sends you to the last couple of corners, and that last corner where Max Verstappen ruined that brilliant lap that he was on in real F1 last season. Here comes Hartman, then opens up the DRS. It's a 1 minute 29.4. That's a good lap from Hartman.
Certainly is. Up to P2 he goes, ahead of the two AlphaTauris. He's looking to stake his claim on the championship this season. He was firmly mid-grid in Tier 2 last season, but he has come out fighting this season. He's much improved, and the American only 7 points behind LB right now, who is, again, complaining in Discord about this track.
Yeah, to think Hartman was going to hang up his wheel and call it a day at the end of last season, and he's come in and he's a strong contender for the championship this season. We're watching Krauser, the newly married Krauser, coming through Sector 2 now, and he'll be looking to get some retribution after missing last week's race.
Absolutely, and he's, well, I don't trust purple Sector 2s on this game, but it's certainly looking pretty quick. He looked very committed through that second sector, so as he comes down to the last corner, we'll have to see how he does. Breaks very late, nearly at the 50 board, and gets it stopped. Very good stuff from the Red Bull. Opens the DRS all the way up to the line. This is a really good lap from Krauser.
Oh, it's pole, 28.8 by 0.4 of a second. A great lap from the Red Bull. And that's really thrown down the gauntlet for everybody else. Tier coming out again for another run around this circuit. I think Hartman will be diving into the pit lane. Yes, he is. We've got the Ferraris back out. Pomi Alex now with his new teammate Muhitti. Muhitti, third place in the championship at the moment after a great result, his best result in Tier 2 around Austria. He'll be hoping to get himself up on the podium, but at the moment he's yet to set a lap.
I reckon he's got a podium in him this season. He just needs a little bit of luck and some good pace, and he'll be up there. He's been pretty consistent this season, which is in stark contrast to last season, where he was not consistent at all. I hope he won't mind me saying. Femi Thrustmaster is just coming down to the last corner. He hasn't invalidated this lap, so we will see a representative lap time from the Cameroonian in the Williams. Up to the line he comes. This looks decent, and it is, yeah. P6.
P6 is a decent lap. He'll be wanting to help his Williams teammate as they are in a fight with the the AlphaTauris and the Red Bulls. So it's a three-way fight for the constructors. It's quite the gap between the teams, but I think they could, depending on how things go this evening, see those gaps come down a little bit. I think Tier is coming through Sector 3. He's about to finish a lap. This will be his first representative time. He's just got one more corner to navigate, and that's that final corner. It is a nice corner if you get it right as well. It's quite an easy one, probably the easiest on the circuit, apart from the...
That's a subtle dig at Max Verstappen.
Apart from maybe any of the ones that are on a straight. But Tier goes up into P6, knocking Femi Thrustmaster down one position.
Not too bad at all. Muhitti's just coming down to the last sector as well. He hasn't invalidated either, so this will be his first lap.
Alex is a second up.
Oh, here we go. But yeah, Tier 2 drivers seem to be struggling with this track. The Tier 2 is usually a bit faster than Elite tier of APPF1, just a little bit, not by much. But the Elite pole position was a 28.5, and I can't see anyone getting close to that.
That's a good lap from Muhitti. Wow, he's really put that one together and got himself just a tenth away from the Red Bull of Krauser. That podium could be on the cards this evening, but I won't say too much about it, as we know what happens when we sing drivers' praises here in Tier 2.
Absolutely. LB is 1.1 seconds up. As he comes down, he's a purple sector 2, I think that was 1.3 seconds up I saw there, so...
1.6 is what I saw.
Oh, okay, so he's looking for a sort of low 29, which would put him into the top 4, maybe the top 3. He's getting a toe off Tier, who's, I don't think, meaning to give him a toe, but LB's taken advantage of that. Comes down the final corner, it looks good for the Red Bull. I think this could be top 4, top 2 maybe. Yes, it is top 2. Red Bull 1-2.
Wow, he's wow, Red Bull 1-2, incredible. He's only 0.03 of a second off his teammate, and he's just a tenth of a second ahead of Muhitti. If Pommy Alex can find some time out there, this could be a Ferrari Red Bull fight for pole position this evening. It's quite I don't know what it is, but the top teams leading the real life F1 championship always seem to find themselves at the top over here on APPF1. It's very strange. You never see the likes of you normally see the likes of the Haas and or the Alfa Romeos all the way at the very top, but it always somehow seems to be the top performing teams in real life Formula One.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just boils down to them being the most popular teams.
Yeah.
Really. So people are more likely to want to race as them in sim racing, or rather the better drivers are. But yeah, I take it back, by the way, the Elite pole was a 28.0. So yeah, quite a way off that. As Hartmann comes through Sector 3, this has looked very tentative from the Williams driver. I don't think... I didn't
up by a tenth from what I saw. Okay. So he could find a little bit of time. There's a yellow flag. I'm not sure what it's for. It's a slow-moving Red Bull, a Red Bull that might have run out of fuel by the looks of things. Same with a Haas as well in Sector 2. Hopefully that doesn't affect anybody on the lap at the moment. It shouldn't do. Here comes Hartmann then, a 29.1. It's a 2/10 improvement. Sees him go up to P4, and he throws himself in the mix. It is very close to pole position at the moment. And
it is.
We'll wait and see what happens. Is that Jamie F1? He's on an out lap at the moment, so we'll wait and see what he is doing. Mr. J-Man, I'm sure, is on an in lap. Nonzi yet to set a lap time on his second run out on debut, hoping to make an improvement and make a mark here in Tier 2. Try and find somebody who is on a lap for you. JBS Steve is on a cooldown lap, so I think everybody is sort of going steady, although Hartmann's 2/10 up, but he's invalidated. Which is easy to do in that first sector, though that is a very twisty, very tricky sector to get just right. And Hartmann's showing that street circuits, you can invalidate your laps.
Absolutely. I'm going to ride on board with Nonzi, the newbie, who's just about to start their first lap. Well, first lap of this outing anyway, down towards turn 1 and 2. You've got to be a bit closer to the curb, and turn 2 you've got to go completely over the curb, otherwise you lose about tenth and a half. Is pretty conservative with the speed through that corner there, and then you've got to be flat out through here, lift off a little bit, but he's invalidated. Turned a bit too eagerly into the right-hander, and is going to have to go again, unfortunately.
Here comes our provisional pole sitter. He's got to navigate this traffic. Should all get out of the way. That was fairly simple for the Red Bull. The DRS zone there isn't actually there in the real-life circuit. I think it's after, just down towards Sector 3, I want to say, is the DRS zone. From what I can remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's not in the place it is on the game. It's sort of here where Krauser's making his way through now. But it never made sense it being there, to be honest. And I never saw the point in it. But down through my favourite corner comes Krauser. You could really take a lot of the curb as well. Jamie F1 improves up to P3. He finds himself in the 28. So looking like a low 28 time for pole position. We're watching the man who sits on pole currently. Coming round the final corner of the circuit, looking to improve his time. I wasn't looking at his sector time, so I'm not sure if this is any improvement. It might be, though.
He's 2 tenths up.
He's 2 tenths up, so this is going to be a decent lap, and it is. It's a 1 minute 28.7, so he throws the gauntlet down even further to his rivals behind. Who is coming up? Is that Muhiti? He's on an out lap at the moment. Pommy's on a lap too. How about Tier? Is Tier about to cross the line? He is, but he's invalidated, so he'll be going again on this occasion. Femi Thrustmaster invalidated his lap as well. Lots of drivers finding the limits of the circuit out there this evening, but right on board with the Australian of Pommy Alex, who's coming through Sector 3 now. He'll be looking to get himself up there with his teammate Muhiti, find himself in those 1 minute 28s and maybe challenge for pole position if he has it in him.
Round to the final corner comes the Australian. It's been, haven't ridden on board for very long, but it's looked alright so far. It looks like good at across the line. It's a 29.1, puts him into P5. So just a few tenths off. The pace is so close between all the drivers here today. But SW is on a lap, and I'm going to be watching him as he goes along, because I think he will be challenging for pole position.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find. Here's Nonzi then, 9 tenths up on the previous lap, so this could see him well up into the lower reaches of the top 10. Yusuf cheering on McLaren. He can't make it this evening, but he's supporting his teammate from the sidelines. That's all going to be a barn burner.
SW with a purple Sector 1. He's coming up to Sector 2 now, but he's gone very deep there on that right-hander, and that's going to cost him at least a tenth or two. Nonzi up to P9. That's a lot better from the newbie in the Aston Martin. Femi Thrustmaster has retired. I don't know where that is, but SW's purple through Sector 2 as well. 2.5 tenths up. He needs an outrageous Sector 3 here to get himself onto pole position. That looked pretty good, so maybe he messed up that corner on his previous lap. Down towards the final corner he comes. What's it going to be?
Down through the final sector now. I think my time is incorrect again. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. But SW coming across the line. It's 28.4. That pushes Krauser way down. That's 3 tenths of a second ahead of the Red Bull, and I think Ferrari are done for their qualifying this evening. How about Mr. J-Man in the McLaren, the only McLaren on the circuit this evening? He's 4 tenths up on his previous best, looking to go and improve. He does. It's a P9, knocking Nonzi down to P11. Lalo Mad coming through the final sector now, 5 tenths up on his previous best. Car number 2 coming around the final couple of corners now, looking to get himself off the back of that grid and throw Femi Thrustmaster down there instead. There's still a few drivers left out on circuit, so we'll try and filter them through as they come across the line. That's a good lap, a good bit of improvement from the
LB is 5 tenths up. Sorry to interrupt you, Sumo. On his previous best, he's looking for a 28.3, which would put him on pole. He's pulled the wool over our eyes here. He said he wasn't good at this track, and he's about to go into pole and beating the man who is moving up to Tier 1 after this race.
Yeah, this is a great lap from LB. He's really got used to that wheel over his time. It won't be long before we see him in Tier 1, I'm certain. But down comes LB. Doesn't take pole position.
He braked.
He braked, yeah, he didn't want it. He didn't want pole position. That is sus.
That is sus. That is very sus. Maybe he's trying to sandbag to make sure we don't say, all right, off you go to tier 1, mate. Mr. J-Man is the only car
He
left
ran
on
out of
track.
fuel.
Oh, he ran out of fuel. Oh, no. So, 5 thousandths is the gap between him and SW. It looked nailed on for pole for the championship leader, but not to be. Mr. J-Man's coming through, but he's not up on his time. He's way down, in fact, so he's going to come into the pits, and there is your qualifying standings.
Wow, running out of fuel just before the line. I've done that a couple of times, I think. On good qualifying laps that would have seen me in good positions. But that is going to be your starting grid for this evening then, as the rest of the cars filter their way back into the pit lane, and we wait to transition over. 5 thousandths of a second separate LB and SW, but without that, without running out of fuel, LB could have found himself on the top step of the podium, but he's got his teammate well up there with him, so it's looking good for the constructors' battle coming into this evening's race.
Absolutely. I don't want to hear another peep from LB about not liking this track, or the wheel is really hampering him on street circuits. No. That was your grid if you want to go through it, Sumo.
Yes, SW then takes pole position with LB lining up alongside him. The fellow Red Bull sits in P3 with Jamie F1 putting in a decent lap to sit on the second row of the grid. Muhiti rounds to the top 5 with Pommy, Alex, Hartman, Tier, Mr. J-Man and JBS Steve the top 10. Lalo Mad, Nonzi on debut P11 and 12 with Femi Fussmaster bringing up the rear.
Very close quali. I think this is going to be a very close race, actually. But we'll see if LB can convert this, because obviously SW moving up to tier 1. If LB can even come second this race to SW, he'll have done his job and extended his championship lead to something that will only really be assailable if he has a DNF somewhere along the line, because this is a short season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, this one. I wonder what LB will be thinking.
Yeah, I wonder. So I think he wants to get the best start possible. If he can jump that Alfa Romeo, he can definitely cement himself out in the front there. It all depends, really. It's a short run. It's a relatively short run down to turn 1 from what I remember, but it really tightens up as you get down there. So LB's really got to try and find his footing on the starting grid. I'm not sure exactly which side he's going to be on, whether he's on the line or not. He will be offline, so that will hamper his starting performance off the grid. We'll have a look at the tyres as we go into the formation lap. All of the top 10 on the soft compound tyre, with Lalo Mad and Femi Fussmaster opting for the mediums, which will see them... they won't have the best tyre grip throughout the starting portions of the race compared to the soft runners, but they will definitely be going on the long run. Hopefully no safety cars come out in the opening laps, as that will really throw things up into the air.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think starting on the mediums is a mistake on this track, because those mediums will go for 23 laps, I promise you. They'll go nearly the whole race, if not the whole race. So it's just, if there's an early safety car, they are in massive trouble. And they're, as you say, they're going to be struggling for grip off the start. They're going to be a lot slower than the softs for the first couple laps. I don't know, Sumo. I feel like that's an error in strategy from Lalo and Femi.
Yes, but you do have to take a risk sometimes in this sport, as you know, it can easily all go wrong, as it can go right for a driver in here, and I think we've all learnt that lesson, both the hard and the easy way. I remember a few times. I think it was season 4 of the Sprint Championship. where me and Jackalacco had some incredibly timed safety cars to give us pit stops that would keep us in the top positions.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember we did a Christmas race around here.
Yes.
I think you were in that. Yeah.
I did. I crashed out of my favourite corner.
Ah, yes, I remember that. Yeah, and so me and AP were battling for the lead pretty much the whole race, but I got the undercut and it was enough in the end. So yeah, those mediums will go a very, very long way. Tyre wear isn't really anything to worry about around here. Hartman is lagging a little bit around the track. I hope that doesn't cause any problems. I'm going to ride on board with Tyr for the start, but yeah, I'm looking forward to what is sure to be an action-packed start to this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I was going to say Hartman. I had a great battle with Hartman during that Christmas race. I think there was a lot of side-by-side action with me and the Tier 2 driver, but we will get ourselves underway. The final car, Femi Thrustmaster, lines himself up on the grid. Here's our poles man, SW. We'll try and watch LB. We're waiting for the camera to change to get the best view possible of our grid before the lights come on. We're waiting for those green flags. There it is. It's 4, 5 red lights. And they're underway for the Grand Prix. It's a slow start from LB. Krauser gets a great start as well. Jamie F1 getting a good start and trying to jump the Red Bull too. Trying to make it free wide. It's side by side for the Red Bulls. SW's got away very cleanly. And LB losing a place already to his teammate off the start. Tyr making up 2 positions on the start of the race. It's a great start from him.
He's gone to the back of Tommy Alex though. Oh, and that's damage for the Mercedes.
Oh, Mr. J-Man's out of the race.
He is at turn 2. I don't know
Virtual
what's
safety car.
There. But yeah, Tyr shooting himself in the foot there, braking far too late, and his front wing is well and truly gone, and he's going to be all the way to the back and having to come into the pits for a set of, well, I don't know. But he did have a really good start and then, yeah, bottled it with too late braking. Femi Thrustmaster up 4.
Wow, yeah, Femi Thrustmaster really getting the move on off the starting line with Mr. J-Man crashing out. That's helped him, and he's got past a few of the newbies as well. Krauser really getting a great start. I saw him, LB, really losing it off the starting grid there, and not the start he would have wanted.
Not at all. Behind his teammate now. I wonder if there's going to be team orders at Red Bull. I know they're in a party, LB and Krauser. The green flags are out, and Femi Thrustmaster's already trying to make a move on JBS Steve at the back here.
Krauser's got the jump on SW as well. He closed that gap quite a bit, so SW is going to have to look in those mirrors. Femi Thrustmaster's battling away with JBS Steve and trying to keep in the action. An eye on the action, both up and down. They're going to go side by side. It's a drag race all the way to turn 1. Williams versus Alpha Tauri. That Haas is trying to make a way through as well, but Femi Thrustmaster not quite close enough and backs out of the move, letting JBS Steve stay ahead.
Great little battle between the two of them there. Femi went for it down the inside into the last corner and it nearly worked, but JBS Steve hanging it all the way around the outside on those soft tyres and able to keep the place. And now I think Femi is going to lose out because of those medium tyres early on, and Lalo Mado is going to be looking to get past him as well.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's on the mediums as well. Nonzi sits just behind, one on the mediums as well. Yeah, Tyr's way down the order. Krauser is all over the back of SW at the moment. He is just waiting for his moment. The DRS will be activated next lap, so he's just got to sit with him. These two seeming inseparable from the start. Look how close he is.
Really good race pace from Krauser, and he's going to be close enough to make a move into the final corner, I reckon. Here he goes with the ERS. SW is going to squeeze into the outside. Both of them are pressing the overtake button down to the final corner. I think it's a bit of a waste at this point, but Krauser is going to try and go around the outside. No move made. The two Ferraris side by side as well through the final corner as Muhiti up into P5, and Hartman's trying to get his way past the two Scarlet cars as well. Krauser sets the fastest lap. Is he going to make a move?
Not quite. He sits just behind. DRS is activated now, I believe.
JBS Steve with a huge mistake, it seems, because he's lost 2 places there. to Lalomado and Femi Thrustmaster. So I'm not sure what's happened to the AlphaTauri, but he's down to 10th as Femi still under pressure from the Haas.
Yeah, we're just watching and seeing what actions going on circuit. We got a battle for P1, a battle for P3, and a battle for P5 going on between the two Ferraris and a Williams as Nonzi gets past JBS Steve now.
I think there's damage on that AlphaTauri. I think he's bottled it, hit the wall. He's going to be into the pit lane. Lalomado around the outside of Femi Thrustmaster, surely not at that corner. And indeed, not able to hang it all the way around, but very close between the two. And I think Femi is going to be under huge pressure here from the Haas. Hartmann trying to get past Palmy Alex as well, further up, who's losing time on Muhiti every second. As Lalomado's going to go for a move here. Femi Thrustmaster, I think, let him through there, is going to say no thanks. I do not want to go side by side into this next corner. I'm just going to let you go and get the DRS. Or maybe there's damage to that Williams as he massively oversteers. And,
Krauser dives down the inside of the final corner. That was very tight between the two of them. I was watching and waiting for that move to happen, and it did. Krauser staying ahead just now, lucky not to swipe off his front ring, and he's going to go on the attack again. SW defends all the way to the inside and then switches the line. That might be a little bit dodgy, moving just before the braking zone there. I'm not quite sure how close Krauser was behind, but it wasn't close enough for a move.
I was riding on board with Krauser. He had no intention of overtaking because he lifted off along the straight. So he just wanted to stick behind the Alfa Romeo for now. Yeah, it was a little bit of a move from SW. I'm not sure how Krauser will take that.
We have a 5-car train for P3.
We do.
This is great.
Brilliant, and Hartmann could go for a move on Palmy Alex. He had a look, trying to scare the Australian into a defensive manoeuvre. JBS Steve is out of the pits now, so he did have damage, and he's just ahead of Tia, so Tia's going to have someone to race.
That's always great when you've been damaged and you're at the back of the field. Then somebody comes out in front of you and you think, oh, brilliant, I've got someone to actually race with. It does get very lonely when you get some damage on lap 1. Hartmann all over the back of that Australian's car. He looks to the inside. That's a very risky corner to make a move. Krauser, on the other hand, is going to go all the way around the outside of the Alfa Romeo with the DRS assistance. He gets ahead. The Alfa looks to come back at him. I think the Alfa Romeo will have the DRS down to the next part of the circuit. He will. So he's going to come back at him. It's Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen battling each other once again. Shadowing the real-life Formula 1 events as SW gets back ahead in that second DRS zone.
And Jamie F1 went for a move at the hairpin on LB, and LB is going to go down the inside into turn 1, not quite able to make the move. Good defending from the AlphaTauri. Jamie up into P3, and Hartmann has gotten past Palmy Alex further back as well, who I think is a bit scared of the American because of the lag on that Williams. But yeah, as I said, hopefully it doesn't cause any further problems. Yeah, huge battles going on, and this is great racing so far.
Yeah, it really is. Lovely and clean. We've only had a virtual safety car, but that was for a crash. Not exactly sure what happened. I'm sure we might see that later on if it was anything unsavoury. But nevertheless, we carry on watching the action as it unfolds. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. You don't want to miss any of this Tier 2 action. It's incredible stuff, and we're having a hell of a time under the lights in Jeddah.
Absolutely. Call me a psychic, Sumo, but I reckon Jazdeep Man in your chat is Mr. J-Man. Yes. He has said useless game, so clearly he's not very happy about a throttle input on the end of that corner. Crows is going to make a move on SW, as well as LB on Jamie F1 again.
That looked a little bit of a... Because I noticed he didn't open the DRS all the way down. I don't know if I don't think he wanted to make that move. He wanted to wait, and now SW soars straight past him again.
Muhiti is going to make it 3 wide. Sorry to interrupt into turn 1. Oh, some defensive moves from LB. There's contact between Jamie and Muhiti as Muhiti breaks late for the corner, and Jamie under pressure from Hartmann now, who's taken full advantage, and the AlphaTauri goes from 3rd to 6th in just a couple of corners, and now tries to make a move on Hartmann, maybe out of frustration, but that is not going to work. And I think there might be damage to that AlphaTauri struggling through Sector 1, and I think we might see him peel into the pits at the end of this lap.
That is a shame. That's damage for both AlphaTauris. They were well in the championship. Muhiti making a move for third place on LB. LB clearly struggling around this circuit, with Muhiti making a great pass on the Red Bull.
Absolutely. The race pace on that Ferrari is pretty good at the moment. Looks like Jamie is okay. He hasn't dropped off, so luckily no damage to that AlphaTauri, but he is down to P6. And Hartmann's going to be sizing up a move on LB as well. Maybe the Red Bull has some damage, I think, Sumo. There might be some olive green damage.
Here comes Krauser. He goes right around the outside, soars past SW, but I think it might be a repeat of exactly what happened the last 2 laps, as SW will get the DRS down here. All he's got to do is focus on the exit, get a better exit in the Red Bull, and then just soar straight past him down to turn 1. That's Nonzi getting past Lalo Mad a little bit further back, but here comes SW. Krauser goes defensive. He defends to the inside. He pushes the Alfa Romeo all the way out. There's contact. A lot of wheel banging between the two of them there, but SW makes the move as Krauser tried to defend.
LB and Muhiti side by side as well, and LB has to slow down to avoid going into the wall there, and Hartmann gets through up into P4 as well, so LB really struggling in these battles. He's down to P5 now, the championship leader, and back under pressure from Jamie F1, but not for the same position as it was before. Pommy Alex also looking in this fight as he goes a bit wide out at the end of Sector 1. And Nonzi, by the way, set the fastest lap. Where's this pace come from for the Aston Martin as he tries to get past Lalo Mado again?
Yeah, certainly we'll keep an eye on all of these battles as they are happening. We've got this is a huge brawl. This is what I do find, that this circuit does produce a lot of trains. Yes. It's weird that it does, especially since it's hard to follow on this year's game, but with all the twisty corners and such. But it does produce a lot of DRS trains, which does produce some great racing. Hartmann's closing on the back of Muhiti. Krauser closing on the back of SW for the 4th time now, as Hartmann gets the move done on the Ferrari. It's going to be a very similar move as SW tries to go around the outside of Krauser, almost hitting the wall, not getting the best exit this time. Krauser could keep P1 for the moment here. Muhiti's going to come back at the American as well. LB looking to get involved too, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. Krauser keeps the lead for now, and Muhiti defends P3 from that Williams.
Absolutely.
Here comes Lalo Mado down the inside, and he gets the move done. Nonzi trying to go through, but I think those soft tyres are approaching the end of their tyre life, so they're not going to have the hugest advantage anymore.
Great racing between the two newbies. 3-second time penalty for Muhiti, and that's another thing I think could come into play today, is time penalties. They decided the elite race earlier on, and Pommy Alex gets one as well, so it's starting to become penalty time as those warnings rack up, as the two Ferraris are both getting one, and I think there will be plenty more before the end of this race.
It's very easily done. It's Sector 1 that's the biggest killer, I think. It's those 2 right-handers before you finish the sector that catch you out every time.
Hartmann's pressing the overtake button. He's not going to make the move though, so a bit of a waste there for the American, but he's going to get a much better exit than the Ferrari, and I think you're going to make a move into the hairpin here. Yeah, no chance to defend for Muhiti. On the outside goes Hartmann, but the DRS is going to be back on as SW gets past Krauser down the inside, but Krauser's going to have the DRS up to turn 1, so I think that's going to reverse again. Jamie F1 and LB side by side again. They've been side by side plenty of times this season, but it's the AlphaTauri who wins out for now, as SW and Krauser go side by side once again. SW making the move unexpectedly. LB back past Jamie, and no changes for P3 and 4.
Nonzi gets up ahead of Lalo Mado once again. It's all in these DRS zones where these positions are chopping and changing, but it's great to see. LB's fallen back off of the fight for P3, so this battling not helping out the Red Bull at all, and now he's sat without DRS to defend from Jamie F1 and Pommy Alex.
Yeah, he's really struggling for race pace. I don't know if there is sort of minor damage to that Red Bull, or if he's just really struggling for race pace. It's hard to tell, but he is definitely falling back. And under huge pressure from Jamie F1, Pommy Alex has just been watching and waiting for an opportunity.
Oh, here comes Lolo Maddo. Oh, I thought he was going to make a move down that twisty section there, but he just didn't. He's all over the back of that Aston Martin. It's very close racing between the two newbies, putting on a great show for us. And they go side by side, and Lolo Maddo makes the move. That was incredibly brave, and the Aston Martin looking to come back again, but there's nothing that the Aston Martin could do for the moment coming through that section. And Krauser's making a move for the lead as well. He's not quite close enough, but he'll go for the move down there. Muhiti getting ahead of Hartmann. They're going to go side by side out of the corner. They are, no. Muhiti gets the better exit. You see Muhiti now dives into the pit lane.
As does SW, so Krauser solely leads this race. Muhiti gets himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I don't know if that's legit or not. This game is very weird with pit lane penalties on this track, so you can never tell if they're actually legit or not. We'll assume it is for now. Femi Thrustmaster sort of just driving on his own at the moment, unfortunately. JBS Steve and Tia looking to make some ground, but no ground made at all for those two, unfortunately. Nonzi still on the back of Lalo, but Pommy Alex just behind Jamie F1, who has lost some ground to LB there.
Yeah, he certainly has. Nonzi's tyres are starting to go off. You can see he's already dropped down out of the second. Pommy Alex and Jamie F1 are the closest fight on track in terms of the gaps between each other. But we're starting to see the beginnings of the pits.
We certainly are. We've had SW Mihiti pitting for mediums. Tia gets himself a 3-second time penalty. And I wonder how many times we're going to say that this season. So sorry, Tia. Jamie F1 back within a second of LB, so he's just about gotten that DRS. That's crucial for this stage of the race, although I think we'll see a few of them peel into the pits, if not all of them, on this lap. Krauser is in. Is Hartmann going to be in? Are the Red Bulls going to double stack? The Williams is in. LB stays out. Jamie is in. Pommy Alex is in. So it looks like LB is going to be the only man staying out on track. I think Nonzi will come in as well. Yeah, he does. So LB, the only man who has on soft tyres and has not pitted yet.
SW's got that undercut. He's coming down. He watched the right-hand side of your screen. Now the left-hand side. There's the Alfa Romeo into turn one. Krauser's, it's going to be close between the two of them. They're going to be racing out on circuit, but SW just gets ahead of Krauser, but they're back to exactly where they were a couple of laps ago. Krauser with the slightly fresher tyres, but SW's tyres are now up to temperature, so he's got to use that to his advantage, but I think Krauser's just too close behind him.
Absolutely fantastic racing from these two. They're still locked together in a league of their own at the moment. Hartmann 3.5 seconds down on them. Muhiti just behind the Williams as well, so they've come out pretty close out the pits too. I think we'll see LB pit this lap, and I think he's going to get viciously undercut here and end up behind Jamie, I reckon.
Yeah, he might just. He's definitely. It's really a battle of two ways, really, because might have lost out a fair amount of times. Double stacking. I don't know what that battle of two ways is about, but damned if you do, damned if you don't, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the double stack would have been okay for the Red Bulls. They were just far enough away from each other, but yeah, it was very tight.
There goes Muhiti on Hartmann down the inside of that DRS zone. That's a decent move for P3. He does have those penalties on him though, so he's really got to put in the laps to open up that gap.
He also doesn't have any ERS left, 8% on that Ferrari compared to Hartmann's 60, and down the inside goes the Williams. Simple move for the American, up back to P6, which is a net P3 as it stands, and LB stays out again.
This is interesting. So Femi Thrustmaster is just ahead of the leading pair, giving SW DRS, but is slowing the both of them down perhaps. So if they don't get past in the next couple of corners, they might find themselves close to the battle for P3. That was a very strange angle. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. It looked very close between Hartmann and Muhiti, but SW past Femi Thrustmaster. That's going to be crucial. He needs to try and open up that gap now, as that Williams is racing. It's not a lap car.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to give up its position at all. It's more than welcome to race. So Krauser needs to find a way past as quick as possible, as SW is already opening up that
This
gap.
is risky for Krauser. He's risking it all to stay on board with SW, and that's a fantastically brave move down the inside there. I know it's flat out, but still, you've got to be so brave to go side by side through there. Brilliant stuff from the Red Bull. Stays on track with SW. And Femi Thrustmaster is cleared by the two leaders. But yeah, as you say, he had no reason to give up his position if he didn't want to. And he didn't make it easy for the two leaders as LB comes in. Interesting to see where he comes out, but here comes Krauser for the net P1. Round the outside he goes of the Alfa Romeo. They're still side by side into turn 1 and Krauser backs out.
Yeah, you're right. Look, LB all the way back behind Pommy Alex.
Yeah.
So that is a huge undercut right at the back of this train. 4P3 as Femi, Lalo Mado are still yet to come in. Oops.
Nonzi and Tia went for a bit of a battle there. The Aston Martin getting past the Mercedes into turn 1. Yeah, it's Lalo Mado and Femi. I think Femi will come out just with sort of behind Tia, but Lalo Mado, I'm not sure where he'll come out. There's still quite a bit left to go of their stints, so I think SW and Krauser are going to catch up to the Haas, and there's potentially going to be more problems for the top two in their little battle here.
Yeah, certainly. So this is a great battle here. We've got 5 cars all within a second of each other.
Here comes the Red Bull. Down the inside, up towards the hairpin. He's going to make the move, but it's going to be deja vu. Krauser not going to have the DRS into turn 1, but again, it's a temporary advantage. If they keep swapping positions, there's nothing lost, nothing gained. And that's going to keep happening as Hartmann gets past his teammate, who I think may have just let him through there, and is now under pressure from Muhiti, who's trying to get past. Femi trying to squeeze him as much as possible, but Muhiti brakes very late, just about makes the corner, the Ferrari. Brilliant stuff from the Turkish driver. Femi not able to respond, and I think is going to lose out to Jamie F1 pretty soon as well.
Yeah, he almost went right into the back of Hartmann there, but he's trying to keep this battle alive. He wants that podium, but it's the penalties that are going to decide his race this evening. And he would just be hoping that Hartmann gets one as well. I thought I saw a car go for a spin, but perhaps I was mistaken.
Jamie F1 trying to go all the way around the outside of the Williams. Sorry to interrupt you, but no move being made. LB gets past Pommy Alex. They're still side by side. A bit of contact. Wheel banging as they come out of that hairpin, but the Red Bull gets ahead, and Pommy Alex back down to P9.
Certainly, Femi Thrustmaster is really interrupting a lot of these fights here. He's holding up a number of drivers in this train. He's got Jamie F1, LB and Pommy Alex all behind him, who are losing time to Hartmann and Muhiti, who made short work of the Williams.
I think this might be an intentional strategy from the Williams to give Hartmann an easier race. Jamie's gotten past now, but LB's going to struggle. Look how much time they've lost, 1.1 seconds already to Hartmann and Muhiti, as Krauser and SW swap positions and swap positions again once more.
Yeah, they'll keep doing that. I think it's going to happen from all the way to the end of the race, I think, unless something happens to interrupt the chopping and changing of DRS, but it's a decent strategy. They're not fighting too much with each other when it comes to it. They're just sort of got that DRS all the way down there, just swapping positions. They don't have to fight too much, but eventually one of them's going to have to give. But Krauser does have that penalty, so SW has the advantage.
LB just tagged the wall. I was riding on board with him. He tagged the wall on the inside. I'm not sure if he has damage from that. It was a small contact, but Pommy Alex is going to try and take advantage of that, trying to go around the outside, but no move being made. I think LB's car is okay, because he seemed alright through that corner, but look how much time they've lost behind Femi Thrustmaster already. 1.5 seconds up the road to Jamie F1. And LB is going to be annoyed at this Williams, but Femi is he's not doing anything wrong.
No, he's racing hard and he's doing what he can to help his teammate. And LB down the inside. It's very tight between the two. No contact. That was some great racing from Femi and LB there. I'm definitely sure LB's going to want to change his underwear after that.
That was so brave from the Red Bull. He eventually gets past. There was no need to do that. He was always going to get past here. Lalo Maddo finally comes into the pits, by the way. SW and Crozer swap once again. And the Haas will come out. I wonder where it will come out in relation to Nonzi. That'll be interesting, actually. As Pommy Alex now makes the move on Femi Thrustmaster up to P7. Is Femi going to fight back? No, he's going to brake early and say, all right, my job is done. I have held up the people behind Hartmann, and I'm going to come into the pits this lap, I'm sure, I think, is what it will be thinking.
Yeah, certainly so. He's done a decent job to help his teammate, but he does still have Muhiti hot on his heels. So we've got a battle for the podium all around.
Muhiti with another 3-second time penalty, though. So that's going to really cost him, and I think his chances of a podium with that penalty are well and truly gone now. So unfortunate for the Ferrari, but it's brilliant pace he's been showing today. You know, you never know. Still 9 laps to go. Well, 9.5. Anything can happen in motorsport.
11 seconds of penalties for Muhiti with that 5 seconds in the pit lane. Whether that gets removed or not, we'll wait and see. 3 seconds for Pommy Alex, Krauser and Nonzi with 6 seconds for Tier, Femi Thrustmaster. I thought there was a third, but there wasn't.
Crozer and SW close again. Here comes the Red Bull. He's going to wait this time. No, he's not. He's going to brake late, or maybe SW braked early, but Crozer's going to have the DRS up to turn 1 now. And they're going to swap again. Hartmann and Muhiti back side by side again as well. Down the inside, sorry, goes the American and takes the position. Crozer and SW side by side into turn 1. SW, brilliant late braking. Crozer will have gotten a warning for that cut at turn 1, I'm sure, as Femi finally comes into the pits.
Yeah, Krauser was trying to get the DRS on the pit straight. And SW did an amazing defensive move to keep the Red Bull behind him and really compromise his run into the second corner.
Femi had a wing change in the pit, so that's why he was struggling so much. But yeah, his goal was definitely to disrupt other drivers for his teammate, and he's done it absolutely perfectly. Great team play from Williams. But he's now down to P12, and I think that is where he will stay for the rest of this race, unfortunately. As Crozer and SW side by side.
Oh, this is very tight. I think Crozer backed out. He looks to go around the outside, but doesn't go for that move. These two have been at each other the entire race. Oh, very committed from Crozer through that fast left-hander there, and he's going to come down and try and make the move again. I think he's going to be a little bit too far back for the move. Off. But I've been keeping an eye on Hartmann, who is slowly creeping up behind the two of them at the front. So if they keep battling like this, Hartmann could see himself in the mix. And not only that, Hartmann is technically P3 to 2.
He is, because of Crozer's penalty. He's going to be kicking himself. The Red Bull, as he nearly goes around the outside. A little bit of suspicious movement there from the Alfa Romeo. Lalo Maddo says
LB and Jamie F1 side by side yet again. It's all very close down, a little bit further down the grid. Jamie F1 keeps his position for now. There's a little bit of contact, nothing that's too serious, just some hard racing between 3 incredible drivers who are all looking to get themselves up a place.
Lalo Maddo is going to come into this as well, Sumo. He's only 2 seconds down on fresh softs with no penalty. And he could well find himself in this fight for P5. Pommy Alex with that penalty is going to drop to P8 as it stands.
Oh, Krauser side by side again in the same place. He's trying to go around the outside of that corner, but SW is just closing him down and scaring him off. And Hartmann is even closer now. It's 1.4 seconds for the Williams. Hartmann is really hauling some arse to get up to those guys.
He's going to be in contention for the win, the American. Lalo Maddo on the soft tyres as well. He's now within a second of that train. He's caught 2 seconds in just about a lap and a half.
Purple sector 2 from the Haas driver as well. This could be a fastest lap on the table here. We'll wait and see. He's got the slipstream. Crozer's got past SW again, but I fear that's going to be another swapping of positions. LB up ahead of Jamie F1. It might be the exact same story. Let's see. SW storming down the pit straight. They're both really low on it. Well, SW is very low on ERS.
I think it's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, Pommy Alex backs out. So LB and Jamie go side by side, but Lalo Mato's trying to find a way past the Ferrari as well. He's still side by side up to the next corner. Surely not. No, surely not indeed. And side by side up ahead as well for the other two.
It's so Jamie hard to keep track of it all.
Compromised line.
These
brilliant.
These guys are really putting on a show for us this evening. You can have clean races at street circuits. I've been saying this for...
Lalo Mato.
Down the inside he goes, very late on the brakes, but he gets the job done, and he's going to look to head to I'm losing my words, to JVF1 and LB as well, and Muhiti's got ahead of Hartmann.
He has indeed, so he's up to P3 and he's within a second of the top 2. So we're going to have a 4-way battle for the race lead. Lalo Mato trying to find a way past Jamie F1, surely not down the inside here. No, he backs out of that one very sensibly, and he's going to have the advantage coming into the hairpin straight away round the outside. He's made the move. Crows and SW swap again. The Haas up into P6. This is a great performance from the reserve, who was well off in qualifying, but look at him now.
Yeah, he's having a great time out there in that Haas car. Those fresh softs really helping him out. And it looks like Hartmann's making a move on the Ferrari. He is, as SW makes a move on the Red Bull. It's a thrilling battle, and Hartmann gets the job done. He really needs to try and keep Muhiti behind him now and catch up to those two in front of him, because they're going to keep battling away, and it's going to reel him into this fight. He is still sat in a net P2. SW's got a penalty I've just noticed as well, so Hartmann is net in the lead of this race.
All he has to do is keep it on track, and he is within a second of the top 2. So the American looking to win his first ever APPF1 race, if we don't count the one with Madman Ollie Oliver, which was Imola earlier this season. LB is within 4 seconds as well, as Lalo Mato tries to find a way through, tries to get the switch back, but LB says no, no, no to that. And the Haas has to find another way through. But he wants to catch up to the other cars ahead, and is perhaps on for a possible podium here if he can keep it together. What a result that would be for the reserve.
Yeah, it really would. He's just waiting to... he needs to stay patient. He's got the better tyre. He's got the advantage over these guys on the mediums, so he's just got to be as patient as he can and pick them off and choose his moments. But Krauser once again coming. Hartmann's even closer now. So Hartmann doing an incredible job, and he dives down the inside of SW, trying to pick him off as he's compromised through the final corner. Not quite close enough to do it. It's going to be a 3-car drag race down towards turn 1, which I think Hartmann's too far back for. He's trying to find a way through. SW moves himself into first position and puts Krauser at the back. Muhiti's still with them as well. LB and Lalo Mato swapping places. Lalo trying to go all the way around the outside of the Red Bull, gets close to the wall, has left the space, and they're going to go side by side down into this next section, but Lalo backs out of it for now, and he stays P6 for the moment.
Very sensible from the Haas there. Just looked like he was going to go for it, but not quite. A little bit of contact with the back of LB, and again he's pushing the Red Bull through sector 1. I think the move is going to be made now up towards the hairpin. LB is going to brake as late as he dares, and indeed he does. Down the inside he goes, but the soft tyres are going to have the superior grip at this point, but it's not by much. They're still side by side all the way down to the next corner. Oh my word, Lalo has to back out. Contact again as LB defends well. Jamie F1 just watching and waiting. Are you guys going to crash or not? He's thinking. It's not at the moment, as Lalo Mato tries to find a way through, but no cigar for the Haas at the moment. 5 seconds to the cars ahead, and I think Lalo's going to lose his opportunity for 4th place at this rate, but here he goes with the DRS.
Down the outside, he's going to sweep straight past. Krauser gets ahead of his rival yet again. They're nose to tail all the way down the pit straight now. Hartmann is getting closer and closer and closer as the laps come down. He may even go for a move on the Red Bull here. It's side by side again. There's a lot of contact. That was very, very risky between the two of them. And I think SW might see himself in the steward's room for not leaving space.
Muhiti round the outside of the Red Bull into the next corner, surely not. It's pushed off the track, unsurprisingly. There's nothing Krauser could have done about that. Muhiti down to P4, Pommy Alex getting past Jamie F1 in Sector 1, but getting all sorts of wrong at the next corner, but there's no way through for the AlphaTauri. Jamie down to P8, and Lalo Mato still can't find a way past this Red Bull.
This is a great battle between LB and Lalo Mato. Haas versus Red Bull. He's looking to the inside again, not quite close enough. LB breaks later and closes the door on the Haas car. It's getting very, very tense as these final laps creep along. We're only 2.5 laps away from the end of this race. Maybe it's 3 laps. Yeah, it is 3 laps. 3.5 laps away from the end of this race. And we still have a 4-car battle for the lead with Hartmann sat in net P1.
Lalo Mato's still trying to find a way past LB. JBS Stephen Tier, by the way, they came in the pits a few laps ago for softs. So I don't know if they had damage or were going for fastest lap or what. Hartmann into the lead of the race. Meanwhile, down towards the hairpin, Lalo Mato trying to get past LB yet again. He's going to make the move, but it's going to be deja vu. As LB, no, he goes down the inside as Lalo Mato leaves the room. They're still side by side. Who's going to get the DRS? It's going to be LB.
Oh, it's free wide into turn 1, is it? No, not quite. SW got past. Krauser dives down the inside of the Williams. The Williams doesn't have to battle this too much. He's just got to stay within. Muhiti up the inside of the Williams now. They're going to go side by side down to the next corner as the Ferrari gets ahead. Krauser drops back to P4, but still technically in the lead.
Unbelievable this is. Hartmann, as you say, still technically in the lead. It's Pommy Alex and Lalo Mato go side by side. I'm not sure what happened there. There's damage to the Haas, so he's going to go all the way down. He's going to have to pit. It's lap 23. It's my fatal lap, and it's been a fatal lap for Lalo Mato. I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't riding on board at the time. I hope there was no contact, because it was a fantastic battle for so long, but the Haas going to have to pit. And down to P11, I think he will go.
Hartmann had a little bit of a moment there at the left. Well, it's that banked left-hander. I'm not exactly sure what happened. He's still within the time at the moment, but he was all over the curb. Looked like he was riding along the wall, but I don't think he's got any damage.
Yeah, I think there's just some lag on that Williams, so you've got to be take the position of the car that you see on screen with a pinch of salt. He's out of VRS though, but so is Muhiti as Krauser and SW go side by side further up as well. Muhiti's going to have the DRS into the turn 1, but we've got to watch the front. Krauser and SW.
Look, the lag there really not helping Hartmann, or unless he lost control of the car for a brief moment. But Hartmann's chances of victory sort of starting to slip away now.
Yeah, he's got to keep up with these top two, because they only have 3 seconds worth of penalties. I'm going to switch my gap to leader. Hartmann is 3.2 seconds down on SW. 3.6. Is there damage? There's damage to the Williams. Oh no! Disaster for the American, and he's going to drop all the way down. It's brilliant news for LB, who's going to be up into P4 and has to find a way past this Williams, who's very slow on the racing line. There's contact. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening to Hartmann. Jamie F1 takes full advantage as LB gets his way up into P5. Pommy Alex trying to take advantage as well. Down the inside goes the Australian. He's trying to make the move, and he's made it. Is still side by side though, and LB's going to have the inside line. The Australian's going to have to back out of that, and he does. Pommy Alex down to P6.
Commentator's curse strikes again. We were saying how LB was leading this race, and Hartmann was leading this race, and he's just shipped back because of that damage, and I think the lag didn't help him as well.
Yeah.
That is such a shame for the Williams. He was really looking on top form, really in a good spot, but here comes Krauser then back down the inside. For the umpteenth time this race, and it's very close between them. SW almost forced into the wall, but Krauser has 6 seconds of time penalties.
Yeah, and SW is going to have the DRS up to turn 1 yet again. Side by side they go. Forces Crozer into the wall, though, on the final lap. That was very dodgy from SW. Crozer down to P2. Muhiti is still trying to keep up as well. Remember, he's got 11 seconds, but we don't know if that 5 seconds in the pit lane is a legitimate penalty or not. JBS Steve and Femi Thrustmaster side by side as well, up until the hairpin. It's such a shame. We had 23 laps of great racing and now all this contact right at the end. JBS Steve round the outside of Femi Thrustmaster, up to P9 he goes. As LB now gets a 3-second time penalty, so his chances of a top 3 result are diminishing because Muhiti is 8 seconds up the road. So as it stands, it is a first podium for Muhiti, but LB has to get within 8 seconds to steal it.
Yeah, he certainly does, and even if that penalty was didn't count, it would only be 6 seconds for Muhiti instead of the 11 seconds you see on screen now. But Muhiti looking to go one better from last week and get himself on that podium. The top 3 drivers all nose to tail for this last sector, and I'm not sure it's not going to matter unless SW gets a penalty on the last couple of corners, because SW, the reserve, in his final race in Tier 2 is set to win. Muhiti trying to find a way through, doesn't quite on the Red Bull of Krauser. It's going to end. He's going to try and look. It might be a drag race to the end of the line, but they're both going to get DRS. What is going to happen? Are we going to have a 3-car battle to the end? We are. But SW wins his final race in Tier 2 here in great style after an amazing battle with the Red Bull of Krauser. And Muhiti drops way down.
Jamie F1 P3.
As Jamie F1 had no penalties.
Pommy Alex P6 in the end, Muhiti demoted to P5, but if that 5-second penalty isn't legitimate, it will be a podium for the Ferrari. So we'll have to wait and see in the stewards room. Hartmann finishes a very disappointing P7 after it looked like he was going to win this race. Lalo Mato sets the fastest lap on the final lap, and that will be that.
Wow. Well, we said at the beginning this could be an action-packed race, and an action-packed race is what it was. We had battles up and down the grid. We had a 4-car battle for the lead at one point, and it's commiserations to Hartmann, who loses out on a win due to lag and that little bit of damage toward the end. But SW winning that final race in Tier 2, he will be a force to be reckoned with over in Tier 1, I'm sure, as he makes the transition over. But he's joined by Krauser and Jamie F1, who through penalties has seen himself up on the podium.
So yeah, there we go. SW wins the Jeddah Grand Prix in the Alfa Romeo in his final race in Tier 2. Krauser, a very respectable P2. Fantastic race for the Red Bull. Jamie F1, a very, very good P3. Gets his first podium of the season, I think.
No, he was on the podium last week.
Oh, okay, never mind. But still a great result for him. LB, P4 for the championship leader. Still a decent result. Muhiti down to P5 in the end, but he is complaining in chat about his pit lane penalty, so we'll see. And Pommy Alex P6, Hartmann down in P7 in the end. JBS Steve P8, and Lalo Mado a disappointing P9 as well. Femi Thrustmaster finishes in the top 10. Nonzi P11 on his debut, just sort of stayed out of trouble really. Tia down in P12, disappointing, and Mr. J-Man, the only DNF of the race.
Just having a look, Ghost. It was a 28.3. We got a new lap record.
Do we have a new lap record? Oh, wow.
We do. Lalo Mado. The previous lap record was set by Harass in the sprints at 130.1. It's now 128.3. So well done to Lalo Mado for setting the new lap record around Saudi Arabia. But wow, what an incredible race we've had. Well done to the podium sitters. Well done to all the drivers who, until the last couple of laps, drove an incredible race around a tricky circuit for on-track battles. And you've all done yourself very proud. I've been saying for the longest time that you can have a clean race at a street circuit, and my point has been proven. Any additional thoughts, Ghost?
Nothing from me. It was a great race. Yeah, we had 23 laps of fantastic racing. The last couple of laps, there was a few dodgy things happening, but I still think that was a fantastic effort from Tier 2 today.
Yeah, it really was. Make sure then you go and check out our sponsor, of course, Positive Perception Media Design Products. They have got some incredible stuff over on their socials, and they are huge motorsport fans, and we're very, very happy that they are our sponsor for the Tier 2 season. So please do go show them all the love and support you can. If you've not done so already, make sure you leave a like on the stream if you have been watching or you have watched. And you've subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. We're on the march to 100 subscribers. We're 21 subscribers away. Hopefully we can get it. It doesn't mean too much, but it would be cool to say I've got 100 subscribers. I think Ghost is still ahead of me at the moment, which is strange.
I'm on 98, I think.
98. I'm going to unsubscribe. But anyway, well done to all of our drivers. Make sure you... make sure you guys have all left likes on the stream. I will know who you are. I'm kidding. Yeah, we'll see you next week for the next round of the championship, which is blah 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 blah. It's somewhere. I will find it. There we go. It's in Portugal. We're heading to Portimao then for a race on what is one hell of a roller coaster of a circuit. But thank you all for watching. It's incredible to have all the support. I'm going to stop blabbering on now. I think I'll keep this sort of going. I have been Sumo.
And I have been Ghost.
And we will see you next time for some more Tier 2 action. Goodbye for now.